What's up? Welcome to another Workhorse Fitness Podcast. I'm Jim.
I mean,
what's happening today? What you got, man?
So you showed me something, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. Let me read that. Thank you. Let me read that. All right. So yeah, we were talking about how we sell fitness.
Yeah,
right? Because it's part of our job is to get people in here. And this guy, Anders Varner, I don't even know who that is, but maybe I should look him up. Anyway, he said 2 reasons you say you want to begin a nutrition and training program: 1, lose fat; 2, gain muscle.
Yeah, appreciate it.
But what you're actually chasing in every aspect of your life: 1, confidence; 2, discipline; 3, commitment.
Absolutely.
So it was sort of like made me think about how we talk to people. And I've been in they got the 3 levels of coaching or whatever. I've been in that second level for a long time where you're talking about the technical, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're really getting to that 3rd level, which is what are you really chasing? We really know that every dude just wants to be able to take their shirt off at the beach.
Absolutely.
That's really why they're here.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. And I mean, a lot of people use social media, guys and girls. They want to be able to take pictures, look good. Mm-hmm. They want people to like it. They want people to, whether you're married or not, people want to be wanted.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the human condition.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's just, I think when you start getting into that, it's these other things that actually what you need, not weight loss. It comes and goes in waves, I think, for almost everyone.
But you only get it through discipline.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you have a genetic gift or something, but
yeah, which goes away eventually. But when you think about all those kinds of things, those are the way more important things that you need to be learning. And I think people just get hung up a lot of times on the numbers and how they look versus if you focus on these other things, those things will come with it.
One of the telltale signs for me, you probably have one. This is one that always really lets me know how somebody is the disconnect between understanding and that lizard brain, where your brain really is. I'll hear people come in and say, well, they're weighing themselves, and I'll look at them and they'll say I know I shouldn't weigh myself every day. It doesn't matter, but I'm doing it anyway. It's like they know that's not the thing to look at every day, right? The scale on the weight on the scale, the number on the scale doesn't really tell you the story of where you are in your fitness or weight loss journey necessarily.
For sure.
But yet we still do it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the downfall of it. I think that's where it kind of leads into being down on yourself and quitting and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like you need to just focus on it's real simple as in just focusing on coming in.
Just focus on the discipline.
Just come in here every day, push yourself to the best that you can, and keep doing small things to try to improve. And that's why we did that one diet where it's more of just trying to just generally get better. Small changes week to week. You could even stretch it out to month, and getting more in the mindset of longevity versus right now. I want to look good for this thing that I'm going to go do.
Yeah, we set these goals for a month or 2 months.
I'll be honest. There's so many times I think we've probably had a few thousand come in and they're like, I'm going to a wedding, or
right.
Or I got this bachelor party, or
or I'm getting married,
whatever the heck it is, and I want to look really good. And those people, I think the ones that have succeeded, were just, I've seen they usually fail later, but there's probably maybe less than 5 out of, I would say, 2,000 people that come in with that kind of mindset, because they're not in it for them, they're in it for that thing. And that thing, other things will come up and whatever,
And what is that thing? It changes.
Yeah, it changes.
You change I've done that where you've got a goal and you're working towards your goal and you get close and you're like, close enough.
Yeah, you're close.
You get prescribed medicine and you take enough and you start feeling better, and there's still half the thing left, and you should take the rest of the thing, but you stop.
Yeah.
It's the same deal.
Yeah, definitely. It's just we compromise with ourselves and all that kind of stuff. But that's where the one thing that you can't teach and going to a gym won't teach anything, which is like your internal motivation.
Yeah.
You have to find that within yourself. Like, no amount of motivational videos, no amount of anything is going to change that. You just have to work on your own mental side of things, and that's really hard to do. But
it's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, definitely the hardest thing to do. And if you're not doing that, I think that's where everyone should start.
And what's crazy is you want to talk about like time frame. There was an article, Morning Chalk Up or one of those CrossFit things, and I kind of find it hard to believe this when they lost this much weight, but maybe they did. I forget where they're out of, but they lost. It says 100-pound weight loss goal achieved during COVID lockdown. So like on the first day, they were like, I'm not going to just, sit on the couch and watch TV. They were home. They're like, cool, I'm going to dig in. So they like cut their diet. They were like working out at home. They lost 100 pounds in I think it was like 30 something days, wherever they are. They've been locked up for, 35 days or whatever. But like, think about that right now, wherever you're watching this, if you're still at home, if you would have started on day one, where you'd be right now.
Yeah.
And probably no one's even seen you in like 30 days.
For sure.
Except your face, like on Zoom or whatever, Like 30 days is a huge difference. It's kind of made me think like, damn, what did I should have started 30 days ago,
Yeah. Again, that's it. Yeah, that's that motivation and push. The thing is hopefully it stays there.
Well, yeah.
That's where...
Yeah. I got a feeling somebody who does that is probably going to stick. But maybe, I don't know.
You hope so,
Yeah.
But I mean, we see all the... What's the Biggest Loser?
Oh, yeah.
All those people gain it back. Because they're doing it for that thing.
Right.
And that thing is motivating them. I think that kind of,
Yeah, the TV show.
If you're on this or you're doing it for this, well, okay, once this is done, well, how do you maintain that?
It's hard.
Because
you've lost your motivation.
Yeah, the motivation's gone. Now you have to go back to everything else.
Motivation never lasts.
Yeah, I mean, unless you can keep pushing yourself inside. And I think that's the hard part is, because we all didn't have motivation working out, right, before we started getting really into it. But how did you find that like, say when you started CrossFit, I remember it was like 5 or 6 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
And what were you doing beforehand?
I was, my story, I mean, I'd gotten pretty big. I was like 300 pounds or whatever.
Yeah.
And my wife started doing like kickboxing, Krav Maga stuff, whatever. And I was like, shit, I should probably do something. I've gotten to this point. I mean, I used to be a semi-pro skateboarder, all this stuff back in high school. And I was like, shit, I kind of let myself go, It sucks. So I dug back into it and stuff. But there was no, I didn't go to a gym. I just looked shit up on the internet. And it was like, what is this CrossFit thing? Ooh, that's fun. Started doing that,
How did you stick with it versus just doing it?
I just kind of fell in love with the results, right? I fell in love with that daily feeling of feeling like I did something, and then, you do it for a month and you look back and you're like, man, this is cool. I can do this shit now. And like, I worked on pull-ups for probably 2 years, and then I finally could get pull-ups like I wanted to. And then I'm like, damn, look at this shit. I can get pull-ups, and then it just builds and builds and builds. And, now it's to a point where I'm never going back to that point where I couldn't do those things.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't go back. It won't happen.
Yeah.
Because I've just built up so much extra,
For sure.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of sports and stuff in high school, and then just, sports got over with, college started, and, I tried working out in high school, and no one ever gave me direction or anything.
Yeah, I never had that.
I never learned about routines or anything, and then when I gained enough weight, I wanted to try, and I kept trying, couldn't figure out anything, but also I never got that feeling like I worked hard. Even it didn't matter how long I went in there for.
Yeah, that's why I kind of fell in love with this high intensity training stuff. Because I had done in high school, I had done the slower, the football school of thought, like strength training and stuff like that. And I never really felt like I comparing, historically, it never felt like I really pushed myself. I always felt like, a night of skateboarding, whatever, was like way harder work than, bench presses and back squats. It just always felt like it.
Yeah. And,
so, me.
And before I started CrossFit, I was a smoker at the time. And then I would go in and work out for 2 hours, pretty consistently, and nothing changed.
Yeah, if you do that, man.
Like, I'd leave and my muscles were like kind of like, ooh,
right.
for a second.
Right.
And then I'd, go home and whatever.
Yeah.
And I still didn't even get that great, like, amazing feeling afterwards like I do here.
Yeah.
But I did my first one that was 5 minutes long, and I was in so much pain. And
yeah.
I think maybe that's where it's like it scares some people, because like I knew you needed pain to get better because
right.
of doing 2-a-days in soccer in high school, where the morning we do a practice at night like a normal practice, but in the morning it was just we fucking ran and did burpees and like it was just we worked out straight for almost like 2 hours.
Trying to crush you.
Yeah, and to get you in shape, because in the summer you're
right.
just like sitting around or like whatever.
Pretty much.
And so that feeling of like death, when we were doing those 2 hour things, and I was like so not wanting to do the next thing, but I knew I had to,
mm-hmm.
right? That's what I felt again when I started doing CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that, again, it's like, of course, I know I don't want to, right? Like you're like anticipation, you're like, oh my God, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you don't want to, it's more like, oh God.
Yeah, you got to run up that hill.
Yeah. But that is how I knew it works.
Yeah.
And I think for some people, maybe they've never had that. And what you have to understand
right.
is that like awful feeling beforehand, the terrible feeling while it's going on, that means that it's doing something. It's going to improve your body.
Growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same with like non-physical stuff,
Yeah.
When you're uncomfortable, you do something like let's say you run a business and you have to let somebody go because they're a dick.
Yeah.
And it's hurting business. Like, it's really uncomfortable to go have that conversation. But like when you've had it and you've solved the problem, pretty good growth for your business. This is the same thing for like the physical stuff.
And with our bodies, if you don't know this, this is things that we talked about in school, which is just when you put some type of stress or you do something to your body tries to adapt to be ready next time for that same situation. And so it's like, that's why you get calluses on your hands, things like that, right? Again, that's why if you keep doing bicep curls, your muscles get bigger. Why? Because it wants to
do more.
It wants to be able to do it, right? Yeah. So it keeps trying to improve itself.
Right.
And it's the same thing with endurance and cardio and stuff. So you have to push yourself. I think at times, like when we try to say it's like, it's okay if you don't go 100 every day, but if you're not ever going 100, it's
right.
you're
never gonna get that growth.
Yeah,
but adaptation.
Yeah, the adaptation though is what cures disease, which will stop diabetes, which will improve heart rate issues, all those kinds of things. High blood pressure. Again, if you're just going at a pace where you feel comfortable, your body is going to keep needing medicine. You're going to die early. Those are the real things about it.
Yeah, and I've heard like the medicine is just really you combating the symptoms.
Yeah,
that's mostly what medicine does. It doesn't actually combat the root cause.
Yeah, for a long time, chronic things, yes. So like diabetes medicine, there's even diabetes people.
It doesn't cure your diabetes. It just keeps you from dying.
Yeah, it keeps that from going up and down too high, but just changing your diet will help fix that, and with whatever. And people like doctors and stuff will even say like, well, you're not diabetic anymore, but you're not cured from diabetes. Well, if you're type 1, yes, you can't be. You're born with that stuff, right? There's what we're talking about is things that happen because you ate like shit your whole life and you sat on your ass.
Yeah.
So these other ones do get cured because the numbers go away and you don't need medicine anymore and you don't die from it. So to me, that's a cure, but they don't ever want to call it that.
No,
because
you can do it without spending any money.
Yeah, because then you can realize, oh shit, I just don't have to be a lazy piece of shit, and then I'm not going to die. Cool. Like these are the things that you have to start thinking about versus like it doesn't even matter about the weight loss. Doesn't matter. We've already talked about the numbers. Just working out at a high intensity. So when we talked about it, it's at a high intensity for, I think it was like 75 minutes a week or something like, or 45 or 75.
Either one, it's a tiny amount.
Lowers your risk of premature death by over 50%, right? But it has to be high intense, right? At medium intensity, I think it's like three or four times that amount. And we all know that you guys aren't going to go work out 7 or 8 hours a week. And I mean, that's just the reality. I mean, everyone that's here that, you know, most people don't have the time. They don't even have the time now during the most time that you probably have, right? Or you mentally can't put yourself into going and basically training like a professional athlete every single day. So you have to do high intense workouts to make sure that you're going to live longer and healthier. So you have to work on your discipline, your commitment, and your internal motivation, and not give a damn what the scale says. Don't give a damn what your max whatever is.
Yeah.
You know, if you just come in and push yourself and get uncomfortable and start being okay and accepting that uncomfortable feeling is going to actually make you happier mentally and, you know, live longer. Yep. I think that's where...
I think if you do it long enough and give yourself over to it, you will teach yourself those things. You know, you will feel those traits, you will learn that, and it begins to feed the monster. You know, you got to create a monster. That's what I feel like, you know. But yeah, most people get to that point where they're like right there at it, and then they're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, you're never done. You know what I mean? This is how it is.
Or you do a 6-week challenge, you lose 20 pounds, and you're happy with how you look, and then you go back to, you know, whatever. And, you know, bad things happen. And we've seen it with, you know, a lot of people that we know. You know?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, it happens. There's, you know, we've had multiple people here that were having issues and then weren't being consistent and stopped coming in. And honestly, there was a couple times 6 months later where, you know, they got cancer, things like that.
Yeah, that's happened.
And the reality is it's like, you know, you don't know how close you are to good or bad. You never know. Like Eric Thomas always talks about the guy who's digging and digging for gold, and he gives up, and what he didn't realize is that last hit he was there. Yeah, because he couldn't see it. Yeah. But you can also say that in the reverse. You don't know how bad you are. Yeah. You don't know what's about to happen.
So that's very true. That is I'm gonna nerd out for a second. Prepare yourself. The Rangers, the Army, the Division Army, the Rangers, Special Forces. They have I'm pretty sure a lot of other ones. I just know a Ranger. He told me the story that one of the tactics they use, because at a certain point they don't want everybody to be a Ranger. Right? They want to determine who truly in their heart has the drive and who is that monster to be a Ranger. One of the things they do to determine that is every day for a certain amount of time they'll just go on a run. They're like 5 a.m. Be in your running shoes, whatever, going for a run, and you don't know how long the run is. It could be a mile, could be 20 miles, but you don't know. You just keep running, and then but they watch, and then they're like, you can quit at any time, whatever, and they'll watch the people who will quit, and then you're out. But if you can see it through to the end, and he was like 9 times out of 10, they just basically wait till one person quits and then they quit, because it's like you just need 100 more yards and you'll make it. You know what I mean? It's like, but you often quit right before that. Right before, this is the same thing you're talking about with Eric Thomas. This is kind of funny that they use it as a testing tactic to see who can get through, who will keep going. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, well, it makes sense. They're trying to find the best of the best of the best, and if you're trying to be the best you got to kind of use that same.
You got to not quit.
Thought process and stuff.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I just thought it was interesting, the different take. So many people focus on the weight and the strength gain and not so much on like what you actually need to get out of this.
Yeah. So a new, better you.
Exactly.
For the rest of whoever you are.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
See you next time.
Zoom was weird.
Yeah, zoom in. Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it? Did it just do it?
I don't know. I just noticed that half my face is on there.
Isn't that weird?
That's super weird.
It's alright. Well, now we fixed the Zoom.
That's okay.
What else you got?